A 73-year-old man sat alone one quiet evening doing something he'd done thousands of times before. His bathroom light cast a familiar glow. The routine was comforting until it wasn't. That night, he didn't just lose control of his body, he lost a part of himself that would never return. And here's the shocking part. It wasn't because he masturbated. It was because of how he did it and what he never knew he was missing. Most men over 60 carry the same habits from their 20s, following a script written decades ago, and it's failing them. What once felt effortless can now become a slow drain on strength, energy, even identity. Now imagine knowing the one simple shift that could protect your prostate, boost your circulation, and restore confidence you thought was gone forever. I'm Dr. James, men's health specialist with over 30 years guiding seniors through life's most sensitive chapters. I've seen thousands of older men silently ask themselves, is this normal? Am I broken? And watch them shrink under shame and confusion because they never had the facts. Today I'm going to reveal 5 game-changing secrets every older man deserves to know, truths that could save your health, preserve your dignity, and change the way you age. No pills, no gimmicks, just information your doctor probably won't share and strategies you can start using today. Stay with me through each secret, because the final one is the most powerful of all, a secret that ties everything together and could redefine how long you remain healthy, independent, and sexually vibrant. You won't hear this from most medical rooms, but after this video, you'll wish someone told you sooner. Ready to break the silence? Let's begin. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist who has spent more than 3 decades guiding seniors through life's most sensitive challenges. I've sat face-to-face with thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, men who believed they'd lost something essential, who felt shame or confusion over changes no one warned them about. I don't just speak from textbooks. I speak from real experience of sitting in sterile exam rooms as men downplayed their concerns only for me to uncover issues far deeper than any prescription could fix. I speak as a man who's watched his own generation age in silence, partners moving on friends, slipping quietly, health worries pushing intimacy into the shadows. You may feel embarrassed talking about these topics. You may worry you're the only one facing these changes. You may have asked yourself, is it still normal to want pleasure? Am I doing something wrong? Those questions aren't yours alone. They're shared by men across the country who've been taught to equate virility with youth and performance with worth. Here's what I've learned. The real shame is not aging. It's staying silent. It's believing myths that feed fear, when understanding is the true path to confidence. I've seen men regain hope simply by learning the facts, by reframing their expectations, by giving themselves permission to adapt. So before we dive into the secrets, I want you to know this. You are not broken. You are evolving. Your body, your mind, your heart. They're transitioning into a new phase that deserves respect, curiosity, and care. Over the next few minutes, I'll share truths that most doctors won't mention, strategies you can start using today, and real-world examples of men who reclaimed parts of their lives they thought were lost. No judgment, no shame, just honest, science-based conversation designed to empower you. Because when you understand what's happening in your body and why, you reclaim control. And that control is the first step toward living with dignity, passion, and purpose, no matter your age. Let's move forward together. Myth busting. Why old habits fail after 60. Most men over 60 assume that masturbation is the same act it's always been, just a private release when you need it. But here's the reality. Your body in its 20s is not the body you have now. The routines you've followed for decades were designed for youthful circulation, fast nerve responses, and a brain chemistry wired for novelty. After 60, all of that changes. Your blood flow slows. Tiny vessels narrow. Nerve endings become less sensitive. Hormone rhythms shift. What once felt effortless now takes longer, feels different, or even feels uncomfortable. Yet nobody ever handed you an updated manual. You were taught that hardness equals health and speed equals success, and that advice never included instructions on how to adapt when your physiology evolves. Doctors talk about pills, surgeries, or therapies, rarely about technique or timing. Families don't discuss sexual health past a certain age, and most men are too embarrassed to ask, "Is this normal? Am I doing it wrong?" So they keep repeating the same motions, wondering why the pleasure diminishes, energy drains, or confidence falters. Here's the myth. If I can't do it the way I used to, something must be wrong with me. In truth, nothing is wrong. You're simply working with new parameters. Your vascular system needs more encouragement. Your nervous system needs fresh stimulation. And your mind needs permission to redefine what pleasure means. When you understand these shifts, you stop blaming your body and start working with it. You learn to lean into slower rhythms, to prioritize sensation over speed, and to honor each moment rather than race through it. That's where the first real shift happens, from frustration to curiosity. In the next section, we'll uncover Secret 1. Why your erection is no longer the whole story, and how letting go of rigid expectations can open doors to deeper, more satisfying release. You'll see that adaptation, not alteration, is the key to feeling alive again. Secret 1. Your erection is not the whole story, and that's okay. You've been taught your whole life that hardness equals health, that a rigid erection is the ultimate measure of your masculinity. But here's what nobody ever told you. After 60, your body shifts its priorities. Blood vessels slow, sensations change, and the link between firmness and fulfillment loosens. Imagine a river that once flowed strong and swift. Now it moves at a gentler pace. The water is the same, but its speed and depth have altered. In much the same way, your sexual response transforms with age. Rigidity may no longer come as easily, but that doesn't mean pleasure or purpose vanishes. Take Charles, 72. He walked into my office convinced he was broken. He'd lost full erections and assumed his manhood had slipped away. Guilt weighed on him so heavily he avoided intimacy altogether. But when we peeled back decades of silent assumption, he discovered something remarkable. His ability to experience orgasm remained intact, separate from his ability to get hard. It was a revelation that shifted everything. Here's the science. Erection depends primarily on the smooth muscle cells lining penile arteries responding to nitric oxide signals to dilate. Orgasm, on the other hand, involves a coordinated contraction of pelvic floor muscles and a separate neurological cascade. Even if firmness diminishes, the capacity for release often persists if you know how to tap into it. That's why the first secret isn't about chasing rigidity. It's about embracing presence. It's about letting go of the pressure to measure success by duration or stiffness, and instead tuning into the sensations that remain rich and potent. When you shift focus from, "Can I get hard?" to, "What can I feel?" you open a doorway to intimacy that's less about performance and more about connection. Try this. Slow down. Before you begin, close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. Notice any tension in your body. As you move, keep your attention on warmth, on the subtle rush of blood, on the gentle tremor of nerves awakening. There's power in patience. Time becomes your ally, not your enemy. I once guided Charles through this simple reframing exercise. Within weeks, he reported more satisfying release even without the full erection he once demanded of himself. The guilt lifted. The shame dissolved. He discovered a version of pleasure that felt profound, not perfunctory. You may worry this sounds like settling. Far from it. This is evolution, not resignation, a richer, more nuanced way to understand your body's wisdom. The tools that served you in your 20s, speed, force, rigidity, are now outdated. What serves you now is intention, presence, and curiosity. So if you've ever felt panic at the thought of partial rigidity, know this: you're not failing. You're adapting. Your body is simply asking for a new script, one that values feeling over form, depth over display. In Secret 2, we'll explore why masturbation is not just a physical act, but an emotional and neurological experience. You'll learn how understanding the mind-body connection can transform routine into renewal. Stay with me, there's more to uncover. Secret 2. Masturbation. Is emotional and neurological masturbation in later life isn't just a physical release, it's a doorway into your emotions, your memories, and the intricate chemistry of your brain. Yet most men never learn this. They see self-pleasure as a mechanical habit, a quick fix, rather than an opportunity to reset both body and mind. Consider Howard, a retired veteran in his late 70s. He came to me not because he couldn't perform, but because he felt empty, numb to joy, restless at night, burdened by unspoken grief. His nightly habit of self-touch was a routine, nothing more. He believed it was simply a leftover practice from younger years. What he didn't realize was that his body was using this act to manage stress, to soothe his nerves after decades of service and sacrifice. Here's what science tells us. After orgasm, your brain releases a cocktail of neurochemicals, oxytocin to deepen feelings of connection, dopamine for pleasure and motivation, serotonin to stabilize mood. In young adulthood, these surges reset easily. In later years, they can become lifelines. For many seniors, self-pleasure becomes an unconscious coping mechanism, a way to regulate emotions that society taught them to ignore. But there's a catch. When you operate on autopilot, you miss the very benefits you seek. Habitual, mindless stimulation dulls the brain's response. Dopamine receptors downregulate, leading to flat effect, less pleasure, less relief, more craving. Without awareness, your most intimate moments become hollow, draining energy instead of restoring it. To transform masturbation from a numbing routine into a therapeutic practice, start with intention. Before you begin, pause and check in. Am I seeking release or escape? Am I connecting or avoiding? Acknowledge any emotion that arises, anxiety, loneliness, even sorrow, and give yourself permission to feel it. This simple act of naming can shift your brain from autopilot to active regulation. Next, engage your senses fully. Notice temperature, texture, rhythm. Observe how your breath changes. Feel the subtle tension and release in your muscles. By staying present, you allow neurochemicals to flow dynamically, reinforcing pathways that support relaxation, confidence, and emotional balance. Howard incorporated these awareness prompts into his nightly ritual. He would light a soft lamp, take 3 grounding breaths, then ask himself, "What am I feeling right now?" Over weeks, he noticed his sleep improved, nightmares faded, and he faced each day with more resilience. Masturbation became a mindful reset, not a blind escape. Remember, your emotional life doesn't wind down with age, it simply gets quieter. Masturbation can shine a light into that quiet space, helping you process loss, manage stress, and rediscover joy. But only if you bring your full attention to the moment. In the next section, we'll uncover Secret 3. Why use it or lose it is more than a cliche, it's a biological truth that affects every vessel, nerve, and tissue in your sexual system. You'll learn how simple, consistent stimulation can keep your body primed for pleasure and health. Don't miss it. Secret 3. The use it or lose it. Rule is real. There's a hard truth that most older men don't hear until it's too late. When you stop using your sexual system, it literally begins to atrophy, just like any muscle you neglect. Yet far too many seniors assume that a period of sexual rest is harmless, even healthy. In reality, inactivity can set off a cascade of changes that sap both function and confidence. Think of your penis like a finely tuned instrument. Without regular playing, the strings loosen, the wood warps, and the sound dulls. In your body, when you go weeks or months or years without sexual stimulation, blood vessels, narrow nerve endings grow less responsive, and tissue elasticity declines. The result, what once responded eagerly now feels numb, uncooperative, or painfully unfamiliar. Take Roy, 74. After losing his wife, he stopped all sexual activity. He told himself it wasn't a priority without a partner, but when a new relationship blossomed years later, his body felt unrehearsed. He struggled to get an erection, experienced discomfort during climax, and withdrew in shame, convinced he was broken beyond repair. Here's the biology: regular blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients to penile tissue, maintaining its health. Without it, tiny capillaries begin to collapse and structural proteins degrade. Meanwhile, nerve receptors need repeat stimulation to maintain sensitivity. Lack of use dulls their signaling. Hormone receptors, particularly those for testosterone, also downregulate, making arousal cues less effective. But there's hope: the body remembers. Just like lifting light weights can rebuild muscle mass, consistent gentle stimulation can reawaken vascular and neural pathways. You don't need marathon sessions. Short, mindful exercises can do the trick. Start by setting a simple schedule. Aim for 3 to 5 micro sessions each week, brief 10-minute intervals of gentle self-touch. Focus on warmth, slow strokes, and intentional breathing rather than speed or force. Think of it as maintenance work. You're keeping the system lubricated, responsive, and alive. Combine this with pelvic floor exercises, Kegels, to strengthen the muscles that support erection and orgasm. Contract for 5 seconds, release for 5, and repeat 10 times. Do this daily to reinforce the mind-muscle connection and improve blood flow. When Roy adopted this regimen, something remarkable happened. Within 6 weeks, he noticed increased sensitivity, fuller engorgement, and less discomfort. His nerves woke up again and his confidence returned. He learned that sexual health doesn't end with partnership. It's a relationship you have with yourself, one that you must nurture consistently. Remember, use it or lose it isn't a threat. It's biology. Your body requires ongoing engagement to maintain its remarkable capacity for pleasure and function. By committing to regular mindful stimulation, you honor your health and keep your sexual system primed for anything life brings. In the next section, we'll reveal a hidden danger lurking in many older men's habits, something that can quietly rewire your brain and undermine natural arousal. Secret 4 is one you won't want to miss. Secret 4: porn may be destroying your sexual reflexes. Most men assume that a private screen is a harmless escape, a way to spark arousal when real-life intimacy feels distant. But here's the silent danger: decades of habitual porn use can rewire your brain's reward system, dull your reflexes, and erode your natural response to genuine touch. Imagine your brain's pleasure center as a thermostat set for normal warmth. Every time you watch a high-intensity scene, that thermostat clicks higher, demanding more novelty, more shock, more visual stimulus. Over years, what once felt exciting becomes routine, and ordinary sensation in the real world no longer registers. Your threshold for arousal rises while your connection to memory, imagination, and human touch weakens. Take Ernest, 68. After his wife passed, loneliness drove him to nightly screen sessions. At first, he felt relief, but within months, he realized he couldn't feel anything with another person, not even his own hand. Erection came slower, climax felt muted, and real intimacy left him frustrated. He blamed age, medications, stress, never suspecting his brain had simply grown accustomed to an artificial stimulus it could no longer replicate in reality. Here's the science: dopamine. The brain's chemical surges during orgasm, whether from touch or pixels. Repeated intense surges train your neurons to expect that level of reward. When you later attempt self-pleasure without the same visual intensity, your brain produces less dopamine and the act falls flat. Over time, this creates arousal fatigue, a condition where your natural sexual reflexes become blunted and genuine sensation is overshadowed by the craving for overstimulation. But it doesn't have to be permanent. Your brain remains capable of rewiring. Neuroplasticity doesn't vanish with age. It simply slows. The key is a structured detox and reconditioning plan. First, commit to a digital fast, not forever, but as long as it takes to reset your baseline. Start with a 1-week screen break. During this time, replace visual stimuli with mindful self-touch. Focus on breath, on the warmth of your skin, on the gentle pulse of your blood. No images, no fantasy, just presence. Second practice, sensory rediscovery exercises. After each session, close your eyes and recall a positive memory, perhaps a tender moment with a partner or the feeling of sunlight on your skin. Immerse yourself in that memory for a few minutes, letting emotion and touch intertwine. This helps rebuild the link between internal imagery and arousal. Third, reintroduce novelty in healthy ways, varied techniques, different environments, or light use of erotic literature or audio rather than videos. Engage your imagination, read a short, tasteful story, or listen to a sensual narrative so your brain learns to respond to less intense but more emotionally resonant cues. Ernest followed this approach. By week 3, he noticed subtle shifts, a heartbeat in his fingertips, a blush of warmth in his cheeks, a flicker of desire sparked by memory rather than pixels. By month 2, his erections felt fuller and his orgasms more satisfying. He rediscovered that true intimacy begins in the mind, supported by presence, not pixels. Remember, porn isn't inherently evil, but unchecked, it can hijack your natural reflexes. Secret 4 is about reclaiming your brain's power, retraining your reward system, and restoring genuine connection to your body. In Secret 5, we'll explore the final truth, how masturbation, when practiced with awareness, can be one of the healthiest and most healing aspects of your life after 60. Stay tuned. Secret 5. Masturbation can be your greatest ally. Most doctors won't mention this, but masturbation isn't just acceptable in later life, it can be one of the healthiest, most healing practices you adopt. For decades, society has taught men to equate self-pleasure with youth or shame, as if once you pass a certain age, the desire disappears or becomes inappropriate. That silence has real costs: loneliness, stress, poor sleep, and a shrinking sense of self. But here's the liberating truth. When you approach self-touch with intention and awareness, it offers profound benefits, physiological, emotional, and even social. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a tool for well-being. First, consider circulation. Each mindful session pumps blood into the pelvic region, nourishing tissues, maintaining vessel elasticity, and supporting prostate function through regular fluid exchange. It's like giving your body a gentle workout, keeping critical systems active and healthy. Second, the neurochemical boost is real. Oxytocin release during orgasm deepens feelings of connection, even when alone, while serotonin and dopamine smooth out mood, calm anxiety, and promote restful sleep. For many seniors grappling with insomnia or low mood, a few intentional minutes can reset their night and transform their morning energy. Third, there's identity. When you reclaim pleasure, you reclaim dignity. So many older men describe a sense of invisibility after retirement, after children grow up, after society shifts focus away. Masturbation becomes a declaration: I still matter. I am still alive. That affirmation ripples into confidence, encouraging you to engage more fully in relationships, hobbies, and life itself. Take Walter, 76. He hadn't touched himself in 6 years following his wife's passing, believing that part of his life was over. His mood darkened, sleep suffered, and he began to view his own body as something to ignore rather than celebrate. When we reframed masturbation as self-respect rather than self-indulgence, he slowly reintroduced it as a weekly ritual, lighting a candle, closing his eyes, and focusing on kindness toward himself. Within a month, he slept deeper, felt less isolated, and rediscovered a spark of joy he thought was lost. To make masturbation truly serve you, create a ritual. Set aside quiet time, lower the lights, and remove distractions. Use mindfulness. Focus on breath, sensation, and intention. Ask yourself, what am I giving myself today? Honor boundaries. If pain or discomfort arises, pause and adjust. Pleasure should never feel punishing. When practiced this way, masturbation becomes a partnership with your body, a reminder that you deserve care, delight, and presence. And speaking of partnership, here's where Nitric Boost fits in perfectly. Remember how Secret 3 emphasized keeping blood flowing, and how Secret 1 showed erections aren't the whole story? Nitric Boost amplifies every mindful session by enhancing nitric oxide production, improving vasodilation, and giving your tissues the extra support they need. It's like adding premium fuel to an already fine-tuned engine. Incorporate one Nitric Boost capsule before your ritual. Combine it with deep breaths and pelvic exercises, and you'll notice warmer sensations, fuller engorgement, and longer-lasting comfort. It's not a gimmick, it's science-backed support for the secrets you've just learned. Embrace masturbation as the ally it can be and let Nitric Boost elevate your practice. You deserve health, pleasure, and fulfillment now more than ever. Conclusion. We began this journey by challenging the belief that masturbation after 60 is a one-size-fits-all act, a habit you either perfect or abandon. Instead, we've uncovered 5 transformative truths. Erection is not the whole story. Presence and sensation matter just as much. Masturbation is emotional and neurological, a chance to reset mood, manage stress, and reconnect with yourself. The use it or lose it rule is real. Consistent, gentle stimulation keeps vessels, nerves, and tissues healthy. Porn can rewire your brain, resetting your reward system through mindful detox and sensory rediscovery. Masturbation, when approached with intention, becomes one of the healthiest acts you can practice, supporting circulation, sleep, mood, and identity. We even explored how Nitric Boost enhances every ritual, supercharging circulation and deepening sensation so that each session serves your well-being on multiple levels. The overarching truth is this: aging is not a decline into silence, it's an invitation to evolve. Your body, your desires, and your identity are not fixed in time. They shift, they adapt, and with the right knowledge, they can flourish in new ways. If you felt shame, confusion, or fear around these topics, know that you're not alone, and it's never too late to rewrite your script. Start by embracing one secret today. Slow down, breathe, and ask yourself what pleasure means to you in this moment. Then choose the next step, whether it's adding mindful awareness, scheduling micro-sessions, or trying Nitric Boost for extra support. Every action you take is a statement: I deserve health, I deserve pleasure, I deserve respect. And that statement ripples beyond your own life into relationships, friendships, and the generations behind you. So if you're ready to break the silence and reclaim parts of yourself you thought were lost, hit subscribe and tap the bell. Share your thoughts below. What secret resonated most? And if you found value here, pass this video to a friend who might need it too. Your journey doesn't end with age, it begins anew with understanding. Let these truths guide you, and remember, your right to feel alive never expires. And that's something worth celebrating today, tomorrow, and every day after.